The Maharaja's anxiety reached a fever pitch when there remained just one tiger to achieve his tally of 100. He had this one thought during the day and the same dream at night. The Maharaja became extremely eager to finish his target of killing 100 tigers. He could not think of any other thing during daytime and had the same dream at night. By this time, the tiger farms had run dry even in his father-in-law's kingdom. There were no more tigers left even in his father-in-law's kingdom. Tigers had become extinct there also. It became impossible to locate tigers anywhere. They were not able to find any tigers anywhere. Yet only one more was needed, but still one was needed. If he could kill just that one single beast, the Maharaja would have no fears left. The Maharaja was very eager because now, after killing this last beast, he will be free of the fear. He could give up tiger hunting altogether. After this, he would be able to stop hunting tigers altogether. But he had to be extremely careful with that last tiger. What had the late chief astrologer said? Even after killing 99 tigers, the Maharaja should beware of the 100th. The chief astrologer had warned the king that even after killing 99 tigers, he had to be very careful with the 100th. True enough, the tiger was a savage beast after all. It is true enough that tiger was a very wild beast after all. One had to be wary of it, one had to be careful of it. But where was that 100th tiger to be found? It seemed easier to find tiger's milk than a live tiger. Now here the author uses a hyperbole. Hyperbole is a figure of speech which is used to exaggerate. Here the author is trying to say that it was easier to find tiger's milk than a live tiger. That means tigers were not to be found anywhere. Thus, the Maharaja was sunk in gloom. The Maharaja became very sad. But soon came the happy news which dispelled that gloom. Soon he got a news which made him happy. In his own state, sheep began to disappear frequently from a hillside village. Now, from a hillside village, sheep had started to disappear very frequently. It was first ascertained that this was not the work of Kadar Mian Sahib or Veeraswamy Naikar, both famed for their ability to swallow sheep whole. Now first, it was made sure that it was not the work of Kadar Mian Khan or Veeraswamy Naikar, who were famed for stealing sheep. Surely a tiger was at work. When it was not their work, so it must be a tiger that was stealing the sheep. The villagers ran to inform the Maharaja. The Maharaja announced a 3-year exemption from all taxes for that village and set out on the hunt at once. Now the Maharaja was so happy that he declared a 3-year exemption. That means the villagers will not have to pay taxes for 3 years. And he set out to hunt that tiger. The tiger was not easily found. It seemed as if it had wantonly hid itself in order to flout the Maharaja's will. And when the Maharaja went and camped there, he was not able to find the tiger. It appeared as if the tiger was purposely hiding in order to ridicule the Maharaja's will. The Maharaja was equally determined, but the Maharaja was very determined, very certain to kill the tiger. He refused to leave the forest until the tiger was found. As the days passed, the Maharaja's fury and obstinacy mounted alarmingly. Now, as the days passed, the Maharaja's fury and obstinacy, anger and stubbornness rose alarmingly, dangerously. Many officers lost their jobs. Now, because of his bad mood, many officers lost their jobs because of his anger. One day, when his rage was at its height, the Maharaja called the Diwan and ordered him to double the land tax forthwith. One day, the Maharaja, when he was in his rage, again angry, called the Diwan and ordered him to double the land tax immediately. The people will become discontented. Then our state too will fall a prey to the Indian National Congress. The Diwan advised the king not to do so because the people will get dissatisfied and they might join the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress must be on the move for freedom. So the Diwan advised the king not to take such a step. In that case, you may resign from your post, said the king. The king was very stubborn and he told the Diwan that if you feel like that, then you should resign from your post.